better to have some dick in your life than no dick at all. God damn it, this is change that whole damn thing up, son. I want to get fucked good. I want to get fucked so good that you just want to buy him something. You just, you're like, nigga, you don't need no tires. You don't need. Then you don't want no money to start a business? Cause y'all know the good man and the good dick don't come in the same package. No, it don't. Fuck that. Now, I'm not saying that the good man can't fuck. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he don't fuck you as good as that nigga that treats you like shit. Why? Why? You be over your homegirl's house crying because this nigga done dogged you out and shit. Your girl be mad as fuck. She be like, why you keep fucking with him? Why you keep going back to this nigga? This nigga keep dogging you. Why you keep fucking this nigga? He can fuck. He can fuck. The dick is too good. I can't let it go.
Tell you, he was a trash man, garbage man, junkyard man. But literally, that's all he was good for. And I never experienced that in my life, and I realized, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna play with you and act like Perez could do what he did. He made me second guess a lot of things about myself. He made me almost become a submissive wife. I was willing to just let him talk to me crazy because that was out of this world. Like, yes, daddy, yes, okay. Like, I was literally willing to ruin my career. If this ever came out, who it was, you would be like, do you know what Google says? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I also know what that said. That spoke life into me, invigoration, blessings, soul, turmoil. But heaven, Jesus, Allah, sorry, please God, understand, this is just my truth. This is just my truth. This is just my truth. You blessed him with it, he blessed me with it. I hope that, like, you guys understand how this feels, because I've never in my life have, considered putting up with such a demonic presence before. But luckily, God gave me the strength to block. Gave me the strength to block that, and I thank you, Lord. Because, whoa, that took a lot of strength. I'm talking about strength, honey, because it be getting drunk and I don't think twice. Because it's just like, it's not worth it. You're a psychopath. You're a sociopath. You're a egotistical, narcissistic. It's not worth it, no matter how glad it is.
A woman may cut you off if your dick is too good. I know. This sounds very counterintuitive. A lot of people will think that this concept is one of those things where if she cut you off, it means the dick wasn't good. That's not always the case. This is one of the primary reasons that a rule that I have is never lead with the A-game dick. Never lead with the A-game sex game, right? Because you have to understand that in this day and age, in this era that we live in, a lot of women who may engage in casual sex, who may engage in hookup culture, are doing this as a way of trying to empower themselves, of taking their power back. Oftentimes, this may be a woman who's engaged in sex before with a guy, got in her feelings, and then got told, no, I'm not your nigga, no, I'm not your boyfriend. And then she pretty much was put in a position to feel like she was emotionally reaching out towards a man who couldn't give a fuck less about her. So a lot of what transpires is what's called the gentleman gigolo complex, right? This is the way that a lot of women, and this is a strategy a lot of women have used to protect themselves emotionally, right? Which is that if you lead with a relationship, if you lead with your heart, right? If you lead with money, if you lead with dates, then she will put you in the gentleman category, right? And as a man who's put in the gentleman category, she wants to wait and build an emotional connection before she engages in sex with you, or at least wants to see how much she can get out of you without having sex. And if you put a little pressure on the situation, then she'll fuck with you. Or it's a situation where she wants to feel like a relationship is clearly cut where the situation is going before she engages in sex with you. But if she's sexually attracted to you enough and you lead with sex from the jump, then she will engage with you. But she'll see you as a fuckboy. She'll see you as a gigolo. She'll see you as a hoe. And because she sees you as a hoe, she wants to treat you as such. Right? Now, why would a woman cut you off if your dick is too good? Because we have to understand that there is a dominant sexual ego and there's a submissive sexual ego. Right? A dominant sexual ego and a submissive sexual ego. Right? Oftentimes, the attachment that occurs when it comes to romantic situations is a combination of the non-sexual and the sexual compatibility, right? Now, what we have to understand is this. Unless the woman feels like a relationship is on the table, then if a combination of the non-sexual and sexual attachment or attraction is too high, then she will feel a fear of a loss of control of her emotions. Right? And if she feels this fear of a loss of her emotions, a loss of control, then she may experience something called subdrop. Now, I made a video not too long ago called Demon Dick, the incubus game. What you have to understand is that if you're an incubus and you're fucking with a succubus, she may like the pleasure that she experiences, but she's primarily having sex for the purpose of exercising her pussy power. She primarily is doing it because of something she wants out of it. She might want the validation of feeling like she met up to the challenge, right? Let's say you presented a challenge to her sexually and she says, man, I want to show I can do this. I want to show I can do that. I want to have him wrapped around my finger. I want to make him feel like this. I want to make him feel like that. And when none of those things in her mind transpire, but you snatch her soul, right? You take her to the depths of her sexuality, to a place she's never been before. She goes into subspace. She's crying on the dick, right? She's having orgasms that send her to a state of euphoria that is very high. Then it's kind of like when an individual takes ecstasy, right? And then like a day or two later, their serotonin levels are very low. They become irritable. They feel very low about themselves and they feel almost worthless, right? Now, when you tap a woman in a subspace, there's a reason why in BDSM, people are very adamant about aftercare, right? Because what aftercare does is it pours a little bit back into her cup so that woman doesn't feel completely drained, right? It's making her feel heard. It's making her feel understood. It's making her feel somewhat cared for so that this very outlandish experience that she had that took her to a very deep place emotionally and sexually is something that's not going to as much negatively affect her after the fact. Like my rule, I got a rule, man. Never leave with the A-game dick. Now, if you're a man who doesn't have that many levels to your game, then you might need to damn near do your best and just hope that you keep improving. But what you have to understand is that for certain women, casual sex and hookup culture is something they're engaging in. It's their hot girl summer, right? and they have plans, right? They have aspirations in life. They have goals. They may already have a man, and their goal is just to engage in sex, have a good time. Now, what you have to understand is a combination of how non-sexually into you she is and how sexually into you she is. If you're engaging in casual sex and no relationship is on the table, and she feels belittled or insecure or feels hurt by the idea of having to work towards or earn a position, especially if she's put in a lot of work for a guy before, trying to get at him and it didn't work, then the idea of earning the man that she's with is going to feel like something that makes her feel worthless or undesired or unvalued, right? So let's say a woman engages in sex with you because she thinks that if she sprinkles a little pussy on you, she's going to get what she wants out of it. Maybe emotional validation, social validation, financial investment, right? Now, if she feels like, damn, I want, like, and enjoy this sex I'm having with him more than he's enjoying it, and to the point into the point where I can't leverage this pussy to get the things I want out of him, then it turns into a situation where she panics. If you give her some dick that subverts the expectation of the desire that she wants to have, the things that she wants to get out of you, right? When a woman has plans set in her life, things that she wants to do, and while she's fucking with you, you're taking her to a place sexually, emotionally, mentally, that causes her to feel like she's losing sight of her goals, losing sight of herself, losing sight of maybe her spiritual beliefs, losing sight of how she values her man in her relationship, loses sight of her financial or business goals and aspirations. Then some women, they'll keep fucking with you, but in order to keep engaging with you, especially if they like you non-sexually, they will have to do certain things to maintain their emotional discipline. They want to maintain masculine frame. So what some of them may do is, and this is something I've experienced before, a woman may have been friends with you for years. That's a high level of non-sexual compatibility, or at least connection. If the dick is too good, she may go ghost on you maybe a week or so before she hits you up asking for some dick. I've been in that situation before. And that's why I think it's important to deal with women on your own terms and to not have such a lack of discipline that you allow women to put you in their rotation versus them being a part of your rotation. Important concept, right? See, the No Limit Soldier, her mentality is that in order to not feel like a hoe, right? In order to not feel worthless or without value for having sex with you, without a relationship or without getting the other things she may want out of it, being emotional validation, social validation, or financial investment, she needs to treat you like a hoe, treat you like you're not valuable in order to maintain her self-esteem. So some women, they'll just up and cut you off if the dick is too good, right? Some women, they'll get very scared. They'll get afraid. You know, I've had women before who called Jesus on me, right? And don't get me wrong, I believe in Jesus myself. But there's certain values that are traditional Christian values that I don't share. If you see my video on the concubine culture, then you'll see part of what I'm talking about, right? But something to understand is this. I've dealt with women before where, let's say we were having a conversation and I was fucking with her and I was like, you ever cried from dick before? And she's like, no, I've never cried from dick. No man will ever make me cry from dick. And then one day I have her come over. You know, I'm hitting on especially the A spot, maybe a cervical orgasm or something that sends her in the subspace. And it'll take her to this place where she starts to just feel like she just lets go of herself. She forgets where she is. She's in a whole new world. And then the next day, she'll hit me up and be like, listen, I needed all of that physically. It felt great. But I don't feel like God is happy with this, right? And like a woman will hit you up with some shit like that, right? You might be dealing with a woman and Maybe you're implementing pleasure denial or edging, and her arousal raises to the point where she's literally begging. She's literally begging, asking if she has to pay for it or what she has to do to get that dick, to get access to it. Once a woman steps out of that mindset, if she feels like she was willing to give up so much of who she is and what she stands for to fuck with you, right? Then when she comes back to her senses, she's gonna throw a curveball your way. If you respond to that curveball with a response that is trying to quote unquote communicate, or trying to reason with her, or trying to negotiate, or being overly aggressive, then she will get more scared or feel like she's justified in what she did when it came to you, because she has a fear of losing control, right? See, this is what happens when a masculine dominant woman, a woman who's trying to be masculine dominant, or a woman who's trying to be feminine dominant, or a woman who's masculine submissive, right? She enters into the feminine submissive, and then afterwards she experiences subdrop. Because what you have to understand is that the feminine submissive is an abundance mindset. A woman can enter into the feminine submissive for a short period of time, even if that's not what she truly is. She can enter into that sexually in that moment. But after she leaves out of that moment, she's gonna think, damn, I'm giving up so much of myself and how I'm interacting. Now, some women, they'll be very good at separating sex from emotions. But if you're giving the woman the type of sex, right, the type of intimacy during sex, the type of domination during sex, to where she gives herself over and allows you to do anything that you want to do to her, right? All her boundaries go down the drain. And anything you want to do is yes and amen, right? When she leaves out of that mindset, for some women, they're going to feel as if they betrayed themselves. And they will vilify you to justify how they're going to react to the situation, right? Now, there's game that you can have. There's ways that you can deal with these type of women if you choose to. There's ways of dealing with these interactions. But what you have to understand is that a lot of the times, women can be more pragmatic about sex than men can. That's why so many more women are prostitutes. It's not the only reason, because a lot of dudes aren't in high demand, right? But at the same time, a woman may sell pussy and say, okay, cool, this is a job. But what happens if a woman is selling pussy and she starts to catch feelings for her trick? Let's say that man gives her an experience that is so great that she no longer feels like charging him, right? If she has a pimp, she gotta cut that nigga off. Simple. That's how the game works. Because at the end of the day, certain things are about control. There's this great quote I heard before. I'm not sure if it was by Oscar Wilde. I forgot who said this quote. But it's that everything is about sex and sex is about power. The fear of losing control at times can be greater than the pleasure that a woman experiences in dealing with you. Right? You gotta understand that. So good dick doesn't fix everything. Good dick doesn't rule over everything. Penis power is a powerful thing, but you have to understand that there are some women that once they've experienced tapping into that, and they tap into that space, and they tap into that space with a man who's going to take. Once they've tapped into that experience with a man who's not going to give them what they want, who's not going to give a fuck about them, that anytime they go into that space, the only way they can handle it is by creating emotional distance to protect themselves. Right? A woman may cut you off if your dick is too good, especially if she has plans and aspirations and she feels like your dick is standing in the way of her keeping her head on straight to achieve her goals. Right? And I know this may be something that hurts the feelings of certain guys that I may know, or of certain people who watch my content, because you may think that, man, this sexual shit is such a powerful thing. It is. But that power can cause someone to experience fear. Right? Depending on what type of woman you're dealing with, depending on your game, depending on how much things you implement, depending on if your program is tight, depending on if she's a woman who's looking to be with you, who's looking to get on your program, that's different from a woman who's looking for a casual encounter, She wants to have a good time, but she don't really want to be oversexed, right? She'll enjoy it. She'll love it in the moment, but when she comes back to her senses, she is going to hate your guts. Like, I've literally had women tell me before that they were afraid of me or scared of me. Not because I hurt them. It wasn't because I was being very mean to them or because I was being very forceful with them in a negative manner. It was because I would make them come over and over and over again. I would get them to do things that they told themselves, told other people, told social media they would never do. I got them to do things that they had a man at the time that they weren't comfortable with doing the same exact things that they were doing. Now, for a woman who's new to the situation, who's never experienced that before, she may get caught up in that, right? Some of those women who get caught up in that will get on your program, and if she gets on your program, then if she makes it through the program, you might integrate with that woman or you might just keep her on your team. Cool. Some women, they will get on that, then afterwards they'll love bomb you, right? But then when they experience a little bit of sub drop, then they're going to throw you a curveball. And if you respond the wrong way to that curveball, which is the Delilah syndrome, and you give them what it is that they really want, which may be the emotional validation, social validation, or financial investment, then they feel like they got it what they wanted. Then it's like, okay, cool, let me go ahead and exit out the situation. And some women would just go ahead and cut you the fuck off. They just cut you off. And some guys don't believe that. Some guys don't recognize this is the thing that really happens, right? But when a woman makes a conscious decision to engage in hookup culture and casual sex, oftentimes it's coming from a place of what I call an exercise in self-control. She wants to prove to herself that she can go out there and have sex with multiple men or multiple people like a man does, right? Have sex with multiple people like a man does without her feelings getting invested, without her feelings getting involved, right? And anything that threatens that feels like weakness to her. She doesn't see that mixing of sex and emotions as a pleasant thing or as a good thing unless she's already in a relationship with you. This isn't every woman, but this is how some women get down. Now, some women, if they've never experienced that type of pleasure before, they never had that experience before, and they don't have a certain level of masculine game, then how they feel about that situation is they're just going to keep coming back to it. Going to keep coming back to it. Just keep coming back to it. Right? But she's trying to eventually build up the strength to walk away from the demon dick. Right? Like, what you got to understand is when you do this type of shit that I'm talking about, certain things can transpire. Like for me, I've been a guy who has been a woman's fuck buddy / friends with benefits that lasted throughout through multiple relationships, right? Like maybe I was fucking with her. She couldn't get a relationship with me. She got the relationship bug or the itch for a good guy, for a nice guy. And she would go jump into a relationship, right? I might still be fucking at the time, I might not, but I catch her hand in the cookie jar. I'm still fucking even though she got a dude. They eventually break up. Now she back fucking with me again. She eventually gets into a relationship again. And then when she gets into another relationship, I'm still fucking. And in this day and age, sometimes fuck buddy relationships, friends with benefits situations will outlast and last between multiple relationships that woman may be in. Right? This is one part of the game a lot of people don't understand, but it's the gentleman gigolo complex, right? Which means that if you lead with dick, if you lead from that sexual perspective, she wants some good dick. Great dick would even be awesome. But it's only going to really be based off of her capacity to either integrate, right? To fully give herself over to wanting to be on your program, or her ability to separate sex from emotions. One thing I personally believe in is making a woman work for the greater levels of dick that she may get from me. I never leave with the A game dick anymore. If she wants to get that greater level, it's going to be a reward for how much work she puts in, maybe how much money she spends, how receptive she is to me, how available she is to me over a period of time. But some guys legitimately don't know. And there may have been some women who cut you off because you weren't compatible sexually. But sometimes the lack of compatibility isn't a matter of the woman not experiencing pleasure when she's having sex with you. It may be a matter of she's in her dominant sexual ego and you dominated her out of her dominance into a submissive state. And because she didn't feel like she was able to dominate you the way she desired to, she experienced great pleasure, but she didn't get the gratification, the validation, the sexual validation, because that's also a thing I don't talk about as much. But she didn't get the things she wanted out of it that would truly satisfy her on an emotional level. And it's a tricky thing because there is it's like this fine line between aftercare and inadvertent behavior, because sometimes it's a situation where it's really that combination of the non-sexual and the sexual attraction, along with the possibility of a relationship and how she feels about the idea of working for and earning a relationship, right? So with certain women, if that dick has them too much in their feelings, they get afraid, they get scared, because it's the fear of losing control. It's the fear of losing control, right? It's simply the fear of losing control and knowing that she can't control herself when she's around you, when she's in your presence. Certain things she's going to want to do. And the things she want to do may be things that completely counteract what she wants to establish as her boundaries, how she views herself, how she wants to interact, the control that she wants to have dealing with a man, the power she wants to feel through her pussy. And when you completely subvert that, for some women, they jump on board. But for some women, they will hate your guts. And a woman has a very love-hate relationship with the power that a man can have over her, with penis power. And penis power is about more than just your dick. Don't get me wrong. It's about more than just that. But it's one of those things to where if you're a cool guy with good dick, that's cool. She'll be fucking with you for a good bit. But if you ever cross that line from good dick into great dick and she likes you too much, that she's going to have to throw you a curveball to get an emotional reaction. That's emotional coercion. That's the Delilah syndrome. She might say something that's untrue. She might throw a bunch of insults your way, call your character into question, may try to leverage for a relationship, may just start panicking internally because of the lack of control that she feels that she has in interacting with you. Right? And just like I said, that there's that fine line between aftercare and inadvertent behavior. For some women, when you give them some good dick, but then it's just a casual situation and you're giving them too much, like cuddles and spending the night and taking showers and feeding each other and fucking chest to chest and kissing on the mouth and looking deep in each other's eyes and giving each other massages, then that inadvertent behavior can start to make the non-sexual aspect such a higher priority than the sexual aspect in what she enjoys from you, that she no longer wants to engage with you sexually. So that's another thing to understand as well, right? So it's a fine line, because for me, I do walk that line between casual sex and BDSM, because I'm just a natural 24/7 lifestyle dom. So that's just how I interact with every woman I come across. I don't pick and choose with that, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where part of what I put in place for myself is just, I try not to take a woman to a certain place unless she's done enough to actually earn aftercare, right? Where she's worthy of receiving that, and we have an understanding to where she's not going to get overly confused and shit like that. Because sometimes, man, when we talk about toxic dick, when we talk about demon dick, yeah, we can talk about how a woman may betray herself or go against her values, go against her God, go against her relationship, go against her goals to have access to you sexually. But internally, that's still conflict that she feels within herself, and still internally, that is conflict that she is just waiting for an opportunity to build up the strength to walk away from you. Not build up the strength to be able to go through that program, but to build up the strength to walk away from feeling like she's about to get trapped in another entanglement, right? So this is Coach Brody. Some women will cut you off if your dick is too good. I'm out.
Your dick so good if you just had me all types of fucked up. I notice when I don't get dick for a while, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I be real calm, collected. But as soon as I get some of that mouth or some of that dick, I start tripping like hard as fuck. After I might get some dick, maybe the next few days, I'm gonna be tripping, okay? I'm gonna be all up on your social networks like, okay, who's this bitch right here? Why the fuck she laughing so much in your mentions? Bitch, it ain't that funny. And, oh, you crying laughing, bitch? Let me see your tears, bitch, cause it ain't that funny. Yes, it be. And niggas don't understand. You just walking around here like life is great and peachy and shit. And you walking around here with good dick making me crazy. You know what I'm saying? Life ain't sweet, nigga. You walking around here every day, every motherfucking day with good dick in your pants, just slinging. You think I ain't gonna be crazy, nigga? Like, you really think I'm not gonna be out here acting like everything is cool? I don't wanna deal with this life, okay? I don't wanna deal with this life. I'm tired. Good dick is not where it's at. I don't give a fuck what you say. Good dick is not where it is, because if good dick was the place to be, it wouldn't be driving bitches crazy. Bitches will fight everybody just because your dick's so good, okay? You can cheat on a bitch, cheat with her mama, and the bitch gonna still fight her mama and that bitch for you and still wanna keep your ass because your dick is good. I had to just rant about this because I'm just over it. I'm just over niggas with good dick, because they be walking around here like shit is cool. Dick and balls just slanging, knowing that it's good, fucking up bitches' lives. Like, who are you, nigga? Why the fuck is it so good?
Crazy. They actually think, because all penises are not created equal and they don't hold the same level of intensity. So if it's one hot like that and he has the energy, he knows how to work his hips, work his buttocks, and really twist her and bend her like she's a pretzel and give her the gratification she needs, she's going to be hooked and think that that's love, or a deeper root level. She's going to become sexually, mentally, and emotionally attached, although he ain't no good, and this other man she with provides for her, take care of children that ain't even his. That woman will still sneak and get that penis power from him. But what she doesn't realize is we have to deal with our attachments and separate the love, the orgasm, and the penis. They are separate issues. Because if we're in a lower level of it and we hooked on the penis power, and this man won't even buy you some shrimp from Long John Silver's, and what that plate, what, $2.99? But he can give you a mouthful of sperm and a rectum full of sperm, and he won't give you no light bread. It's like we have to see what our issue is, because a man like that doesn't respect a woman. Yeah, he'll hit her, but if a man is having sex with you and he had the opportunity to be with you, or he's an ex, so that means he had you before the other man that's provided for you could get to you. And all he's offering you is a side of penis when he can sneak in and out your man's bed and out your man's house. That man ain't got no respect for you, and he know you don't have none for yourself. But because you're so hooked on him and you hooked on the penis, you will sacrifice and sell yourself out to let him come in the back door, or let him come at lunch, or come in the dark, when your real man that don't have the same penis power is handling all the expenses. So a woman thinks she getting over and think, oh, that's the best sex. But she really playing herself, and he playing her. Because it ain't about her. It's about his ego and about his penis and his testicles and how many notches he can get up on his belt to brag about. Remembers. That's why I was saying the other show, don't let every man hit the bottom of your vagina, the root of your vagina.
But they don't know about the bottom. They don't know about the bottom.
Yeah, that bottom one. But see, every man may not know, because he might not have a penis to really know how to hit that bottom, or how to lift to hit that bottom and work that middle. With a woman, she spread her legs wide and she starts screaming, saying, yeah, daddy, that's it. Or she might start cursing or screaming out all types of profanities because he done hit the bottom. And now her mind, she insane. Her mind ain't good because the penis done ejaculated all in her brain. She's gone crazy. So you don't let every man hit your bottom, and your body remembers it. Just like a man will put a woman over doggy style, or maybe get a mirror or something. Then they start hitting that woman from the back, or on her back, they hitting her. Then they start talking. They start saying all kind of stuff to her while they hitting her. And see, that woman is being seduced. She being seduced. He breaking her down, man. He is screwing her into submission. He's screwing her into slavery by using the penis as a weapon to break her ass down. And her defenses, I mean, she wide open. When the penis all up in your vagina, man, you don't have no defenses. Unless you just really are thinking, and this is not about the love experience, this is about a money experience, so she's a prostitute. Then she's working it just for her benefit. But when a woman is really liking this man and she's feeling him and what he's doing, especially if she's sneaking around with him and he has nothing to give her and her man is treating her better than he has already gotten her defenses down, but she's very weak, and that's the worst thing that can happen is a man to get you in while he's thrusting the penis in and out. Who is it? Whose vagina is it? Who it belong to? What I said? Who? And then the woman start calling out the man's name, screaming the man's name. Then she let him know she coming. When she coming, she hollering. She calling for him. Man, this stuff is programmed all up in this woman's vagina, rectum, uterus, all up in this mind right here. And that will actually bind her, actually reduce her to a cum freak. So if she can't get to him, she'll slip him in, and then that's where the jackrabbits and all the different size penises and dildos come in, because she's remembering and trying to recapture that experience. So that's why I said you don't want to let everybody hit that bottom. You don't want to let everybody spank you and talk to you all kind of ways, because women, especially when that man pull it back, won't give you the penis no more, women will be all in the bed at night trying to sleep, tossing and turning, they dreaming about it. Lord have mercy, they wake up out their sleep because they dreamt the man done did this to somebody else. And the thought of that, you know, is devastating. That woman heart get to beating fast, blood pressure go up, she can't hardly catch her breath. Just to think about that man done rationed that out and laid that out for somebody else and bent them over and talked to them too and spanked them.